Hi, my name is Nonya Uribe. This is my case study, part 2, in Contemporary Issues in Higher Education with Marymount University. One of the issues that Ms. Boudinot, the Director of Planning and Institutional Effectiveness, brought up in our interview was the lack of the culture of assessment on campus. Based on my interview with her, I found that there were two large groups of people who contribute to this absence of a culture of assessment. We have the people who are new or unfamiliar with assessment methods and processes, and we have the people who reason that this is the way things have always been done or not done. In the middle, we find the overlap that there is no accountability from either side in assessment. The second issue Ms. Boudinot presented was the decline in enrollment at Marymount. As the Director of Assessment, she makes great effort to collect, analyze, and provide meaningful data for informed decision-making by university leadership. One of the primary reasons that students do not enroll is the high cost of tuition for private education at Marymount. While it is still much less than its local private competitors such as Georgetown University and the George Washington University, it still faces price competitiveness from public institutions like George Mason University and the esteem of Georgetown and GWU. To exacerbate the issue of cost is the lack of family financial support towards tuition. Approximately 80% of all their students receive some sort of financial aid. If students do not receive adequate financial support, many times students will drop out because they simply can't afford to go to college. Students today also have different expectations in the college experience and changing perceptions in the value of a college education. So Marymount must discover what their students and prospective students are seeking and how they can make sustainable changes towards meeting student needs. Some of the literature I found involved or was centered around the creation of a faculty learning community. This took place at Bloomsburg University of Pennsylvania. Their methodology involved developing a web-based interactive rubric tool that provided specific feedback to students and interfaced with Blackboard. To encourage rubric use, Bloomsburg University offered mini-grants for proposals that outline performance-based rubrics, goals, objectives, and basic evaluation criteria for each component addressed by the project. Grant recipients were required to attend a 3-day training workshop, advanced training sessions, and conduct a teaching and learning enhancement seminar to other faculty. The findings were that the workshops along with the training models ensured that assessment skill development was pedagogy driven. Shared administration of training activities, exchanging of lessons learned, ideas and suggestions, and empowerment to define new goals and objectives increase faculty participation. In this study, the role of leadership and culture in creating meaningful assessment, a mixed method case study at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, researchers developed a year-long ACE-10 faculty inquiry project, which was a general education program built around 10 student learning outcomes. In this study, they had faculty involved from multiple disciplines in all colleges and met monthly to share best practices for assessment. In the study, they used several survey instruments to collect data. The findings from this study found that the focus of the project was improving learning assessment instead of submitting assessment reports and institutional compliance. The team-centered practice helped facilitate regular discussion of assessment. Faculty were embracing learning from each other across the campus. They were developing faculty leaders across campuses as well. It also changed the value and perception of assessment, as well as how it engages and supports faculty in the process. In this study, On the Edge, a study of small private colleges that have made a successful financial turnaround, the researchers conducted a series of interviews with the president, senior leadership in administrative, student affairs, faculty, and elective faculty roles, and used the data to identify patterns. The framework they used was McTaggart's turnaround cycle. From this study, they found 8 commonalities in the small private colleges that have made a successful financial turnaround. They found that the board usually recruits a president ready for a significant challenge. This president designs a compelling turnaround plan. The president also takes immediate action to correct the most pressing problems. Key constituencies provide support to the president. The president develops the team and releases those who cannot embrace the new vision. The president successfully raises donor funds. The president communicates a clear direction for the future. And the institution identifies and offers a distinctive aspect that brings growth in student enrollment and thus revenue. The proposed plan of action for assessment is to change the perception of assessment, develop a practical plan, offer training and professional development, have a support system for people involved in the process, meet regularly to keep the discussion going, have faculty take ownership of the process, obtain the support of the president, make a schedule for assessment and follow it, plan and budget resources for assessment, and celebrate the successes and acknowledge good work in the assessment process. For assessment, I believe that shifting the focus away from institutional compliance was important. From the literature, faculty seemed more engaged when the focus was back on improving student learning. The more people involved in assessment, the more agency we have for change and improvement, and the more ownership we have over the process. Giving adequate support is not just about training, it is also about having open lines of communication to where people feel comfortable in asking for help. When people ask for help, they're taking ownership of their role in the process. For enrollment, I propose broadening their student base. At the moment, the recruitment activities could be revamped to recruit students that they do not normally target, such as graduate students, international students, and students with socioeconomically disadvantaged backgrounds. Administration should also consider capping tuition and allowing it to be frozen for a few years, as well as consider offering more financial aid to students. Based off of the literature, institutions that offered more aid and stabilized tuition experienced more stable enrollments. They should also consider expanding their programs, assessing them, and reducing or eliminating ones with poor performance and enrollment. They should also tap into underused resources. In my conversations with Ms. Boudinot, Marymount University lacked an alumni office or alumni coordinator, as the position has been vacant for quite some time. Investment in developing this area would help tap into resources that can help in recruitment and therefore enrollment, or help build connections to more financial resources, sponsorships, and partnerships. Marymount University has begun the work. The Director of Assessment has implemented an assessment plan encompassing the recommendations found in the literature. A new president has been recently selected as of March 2019. A new 5-year strategic plan has been rolled out and was rolled out last week in a meeting with the president. The strategic plan also has a very short time of implementation. They've also begun recruitment and assignment of volunteers. They have begun establishing more partnerships with local, state, national, and international organizations. They have also acquired a downtown campus as of 2017 and new residential facilities as of 2018 to attract newer students. These are the references used for this presentation. Since Marymount University has already begun the work in improving their culture of assessment and driving up their enrollments, it'll be exciting to see where it leads them in the future.